We were talking about baby pictures. See this one? I
Oh,
just
how cute.
texted him last night. He's at Duke University in his freshman year. And
Oh
this
my
is his,
gosh.
okay, so he's 18 and a half years old, and this was done the day of his bris. This was me holding him the day of his bris. So, and it sits
Wow.
here. It sat in my office, and when I retired, I brought it home, and it sits here. Neither of his brothers, well, I do have pictures of both of his brothers on there, but this is the first one, so this is why he's here.
All right,
You know,
we're gonna get started, and I'm gonna ask a question because we seem to be running out of time, and I hate to hold people later since it's Shabbat and everybody's cooking and mocking and barking. So today we're going to work on two prayers that are done right after the Torah is read, and one is mischievous, and the other one is a bench birkat gomel. We're going to start with the mischievous. And as you were saying, Beryl, your rabbi has been saying this for the Ukrainian people. And I thought today that since I wanted to teach this, this was very appropriate. I hope everybody got what I prepared. It's a little bit of a process because I do cut and paste, literally. I do have a Hebrew fonts, but then it doesn't have the dots, the nikudot, so I have to print it out and I have to put them in and paste it on. It's anyway, it's there. So I have Beryl, Beth, Diana, Alin, Helene, and Sherry so far. Okay, Sherry Rubin, excellent. I want to just get everybody in, and Edie, and Janice have got. Okay, so hopefully.
When did you send this?
I sent it this morning because I had a very busy week, so you should have it. So depending if you have Sim Shalom or if you have Lev Shalom, I put the pages down. In Sim Shalom, it's on page 404, and they have a whole bunch of them, and I'll explain.
or
In
140.
Lev Shalom, it's 173, which was convenient because the other prayer is on that same page too, and they did it nice and compact. I like the layout is very good.
The other Sim Shalom is on 144.
Okay, great. That's the skinny one, right? Must be the Slim Shalom 144. Okay. That's what they called the Slim Shalom because it was two volumes. All right. So me means who prayed. It's a prayer for healing. And I just wanted to ask you, because I was a little surprised myself. You probably have had this prayer said for you, and you probably didn't even realize it. There are many occasions besides being sick that this prayer is said. And I just was wondering if anybody knew what they were. Let's see if I can get everybody in here. Okay, so does anybody know, other than a prayer for the sick, does anybody know when the mischievous prayer is said? Just raise your hand. Anybody who knows? Okay, Eddie, you're okay, good. You were muted.
I think also returning from travel or traveling.
Okay, that one is not the mischievous. That's the other one. That's bench gomel. Well, we'll get to that afterwards. Okay, so when is the mischievous said?
Well, there's a
So people
Mishabera.
usually think it's for someone who's sick, right? That's the common thought. That's what I thought.
There's one for people after they've been called to the Torah.
Right. That's definitely. And when I was in Israel, I went to a synagogue and I was surprised after each person had an aliyah was called up, they said the mishabera for them. It doesn't take that long, but it does extend this service, and our service is from 9 to 12. So that would even be later. Okay, so when you're called to the Torah, and there's a little variation for male or female, they have that in Sim Shalom, and they do have the other versions of this on towards the back of the big Lev Shalom in 439. Any other occasion? So, Sherry Lynn.
Okay, I've seen it. The rabbi, after a child has his bar the bar bat mitzvah, and I've also
Right.
seen it at an ufraf.
Yeah.
Exactly. A wedding, bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, good. You're good. You're hot. Okay, so before a wedding, a bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, good. And I'll
Would it
tell you
be-
another one when in this, my birthday's in July, and someone else was sponsoring the Kiddush. I think there were 3 of us who had a birthday that day, and I wasn't sponsoring the Kiddush that day. And I went up to the rabbi when we had Kiddush, and I said, Rabbi, I would like you to give me a blessing. Today is my birthday. And so for a birthday, so he just spontaneously, he said the blessing for me, which was really wonderful. Likewise, an anniversary. It doesn't have to be a special one, just an anniversary. It's people who are traveling to Eretz Yisrael. And here's something that I didn't know. So you had all of those, like I said, primarily a prayer for healing. However, in one site that I looked at, it said moments of significant change. And this is what it listed. After a divorce, when you're going through life changes, after retirement, after graduation, when you're going to enter the workforce and get your first job or getting a new job, and entering or exiting the military. Those are all significant moments in somebody's life. And I thought that was very interesting. So what I want to show you is the way I prepared this was I put check marks on what we will be saying because there's variations. So you can see that it says there's a slight variation for male, for female, and I put a check mark. We'll say it for a group because we're going to say it for Ukraine. And I just wanted a couple of words to explain to you so it'll make more sense. Now, I have to tell you that when I was reading this and really translating it, I discovered something very interesting that I didn't know. So the words today, it has Rafei, Resh Fei Aleph is the root that means heal. So Vayira Pei means he, God, will heal. Vayira Pei, that word is in here. Yeah. And Chazak, when we finish a book of the Torah, we say Chazak, Chazak, Benit Chazek, strong, strong, and be strengthened. So Chazak, Chazakah, strong. Strong like bulls, smell like same, right? So there's this verb, lahachazika. That's if you're saying it for a female. In this case, we're going to be saying it for a group. So it will be lahachazikam, and may they be returned to strength. Okay. And you're probably familiar with the phrase refuah shlema. Now the word rofei in Hebrew means a doctor. So refuah, that's all related, all those words. It means healing. Refuah shlema, complete healing. We say that to people in synagogue, if they're sick, refuah shlema. You send a card to someone who's ill. You might want to write that. Soul is nefesh. In Yiddish, it's neshama. Body is goof. I'm not goofing with you. Body is goof. And choleh and cholah means sick. Ha-cholim means those who are ill, those who are sick, the sick ones. It's a noun. And here's the part that I thought was fascinating. I was talking to Julia Loeb this morning, and I mentioned this to her, and she said she didn't know this either. So not only does this prayer give blessings and prayers for complete healing for the person who is ill, it also includes those who are the caretakers. And I just find that entirely sensitive because, that could be draining. If you have an elderly parent or anyone in your family who's ill over an extended period of time, the caretakers need reprieve too. It's really draining. So the word ha'oskim, when you say ani asuka, that means I'm busy. And there's a blessing when you study a Torah for those who are asukim b'Torah, those who are busy, occupied in the study of Torah. You say that before you study Torah. So it tells you they should be well because they're busy, they're involved in their sarot, their troubles or their problems. So I think that's really amazing. That's very, very sensitive in this prayer. Okay, so you can see the now when in my synagogue, I don't know about your synagogues, when we do a prayer for those who are ill, we usually do it with the mother's name. So let's say it's Sarah. We would say, supposing the person was Rivka, we would say, you were saying a prayer for Sarah bat Rivka. Sarah, the daughter of Rivka, because she gave birth to you. So it's usually the feminine, the feminine that we appeal to, the mother for healing. The mother is the one who gave birth to you. And so it says, you're talking about your mother, the daughter of your mother, you're honoring your mother. But I noticed here in the Lev Shalem, it said names of loved ones and friends may be added, and they have been or bat. So that may be someone else's tradition. It's not our tradition. We usually do it with you give your mother's name. Does anyone else do it with the father's name or father's and mother's name?
Nope, just the mother's name.
The mother, yeah. But I guess I wanted to be inclusive here, so that's fine. So there's these three sections. So it starts with Mi Sheberach HaCholim, the one who blessed the ill. Mi Sheberach Avotenu, our patriarchs, then they name them, Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, the Imotenu, our imas, and our mothers, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Hu Yivarech, V'yirapeh, he will bless and heal et, and here you have three choices. The one that says hacholeh would be for man, an ill man, hacholah, if it's a friend, and hacholim is for a bunch of people, a group of people. Okay, then it says hakadosh baruch hu yimalei rachamim, he will give compassion. And then again, you have three choices, alav, upon him, Lahachaziko, to strengthen him, Ularap Oto, and heal him, Yishlach Lo, and send him, and then it goes on, and the female is Alecha, will send blessing upon her, Lahachazika, to strengthen her, Ularapota, and to heal her, V'yishlach La, and send her, and then it goes on. For a group, it says, we'll send Yamalei Rachamim, and then it goes Alehem, upon them, Lahachazikam, to strengthen them, Ularapotam, and heal them, Yishlach Lahem, send to them. And then it continues with the rest, Mehera, Refuah, Shlema, quickly, a complete healing, Min Hashemayim, from heaven, Refuat Hanefesh, healing of the soul, refuat haguf, and healing the body. I find this interesting too, because this prayer doesn't just say, may the person be cured of their illness, but when a person can also have a mental illness, a disturbance, and so they should be healed mentally and physically, which I really think is very important. B'toch sha'ar hachulei, amongst the rest who are sick, amongst others who are sick, not just this one person. Chazek et yedei ha'oskim. Here is about the caretakers. Strengthen yadayim, the hands of the ones who are occupied, bitzorchechem, with their problems, with the ones who are sick with their problems. Shabbat here's another interesting part. He milizok. Lizok means to cry out. And they're saying that this is Shabbat. I think Helene, you once mentioned this, that this is Shabbat, and it's really not the time to be making this petition for healing. So it gives a kind of disclaimer. It says, yes, this is Shabbat. Shabbat he milizok, for crying out. This is not the time for crying out. Refuah krova, and for a speedy healing, to come lavo. And I don't know what hashta ba'agala means. That's Aramaic. Uvizman kariv, and in a soon time, the nomar amen. So it's very interesting. It's very sensitive prayer. I think it covers a lot of bases. And I just was really blown away with that part where it says, and for the ones who are taking care of them, and their problems, this is a blessing for them too. So, all right. So this is sort of like a prayer for everybody for many different times, because we said it's for bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs, wedding anniversary, if you're sick. So there used to be a commercial for paint, and they said, it ain't just paint. This ain't just for healing. It's a lot of different things. So we'll say it together for the Ukrainian people. Let me just check in and see who else is here. See if I got everybody. Alice, okay. Hi, Alice. Okay, Sherry Stein. Megan, okay.
Carol, I think it
Rhoda.
became more for healing when Debbie Friedman started singing it.
Yeah, I was looking to see if I might have an old tape of that.
I
And I was
have
gonna,
actually, if you'll let me share, I actually have her singing it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I have. You have it right now? Or you have
Yeah,
it on
give
your
me a minute.
computer?
Yeah, give me a minute.
Sure. Okay. Who am I speaking with now?
Sherry Stein.
Sherry, okay. Now the words are slightly different, and then she goes into the English, but it's totally beautiful. All right, I think we got everybody here. Great.
Okay, I have it. So just put it
Good.
up. Hold on a second. I have to get through the ads first.
Okay.
Okay. Can I share?
Yeah,
No, you disabled me.
I disabled you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Enter host key. Do I put the host key in? Let's see,
No,
if I do a name,
be a
it
co-host.
still disappeared.
You have to be co-host, I think, to share.
yeah, so enter
Host
host
or
key. Co-host.
co-host.
Wait a second. I go to participants and then to co-host, I think. So who is doing this?
Sherry Stein.
Okay, Sherry Stein. Let's see if this will work. No.
Click
We'll
on
just
her
go to the
name.
one with the,
Click
I'm
on her
on, I'm
name.
on a
Carol,
yeah, I
when you
did.
do it, click on her
Yeah.
name where it says more. Next to
Don't
her
have
name
more
where
of
it
it.
shows the video and the mic, click on more.
Yeah, but I'm on an iPad and
It should
doesn't
still
You
work.
have
it.
to bring up the list of participants.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
on my
on
list
the
of participants, it says on the bottom right, claim host. Maybe Sherry Stein can hit that and claim
No,
host.
No, you can make her a co-host. If you hit her name.
I did hit a name, but nothing else comes
No,
up.
I-
Yeah,
we-
I've
Well,
done this
I'm
before, but
On the
I'm-
list.
On
When
my
you-
computer, it says host is not in the meeting yet. So she may be able to claim host.
all right, I can give you,
I'm not
Let's
sure
see,
Carol is the
number.
host. It may be,
Nobody is listed as the host.
yeah. I think
Why don't we
organized
find
by-
out where Sherry got this? Is it on
Okay,
the
I'll put it
internet?
in the chat. How about that?
And then maybe Carol can share it. By
I
going to
don't know about
that
that. Sign in,
link.
wait, sign in as host. No,
You have to sign in as
yeah, I'm
host.
on an
Yeah, there's no,
iPad and
there's
I'm
no
not that,
host. Yeah, there's no host.
because this is not my thing. This is from Women's League.
Sherry, are you on a, Sherry, you're on a full computer?
Yeah.
Okay, so bring up the name of participants, the list. click on participants on the
Just
bottom.
a minute, I have to,
You
okay, so here's,
You might have to click on the little arrow next to where it says
You
participants.
just click on participants and then the
Oh,
list. comes-
okay.
Okay, when the list comes up on the bottom, all the way in
mhm,
the bottom, it says invite, mute me, or claim host. Click claim host.
That's what I said.
All the way on the bottom of the list.
yeah, and then it says, or sign in to claim, it's a 6 to 10 digit number, and I don't have that.
Wow.
I'm not, they
I
won't,
have an 11 digit and I have a 6. I have a 6.
oh,
I
the
don't have a
6
10.
digit, that's what I need.
Give her the 6-digit.
All right,
number.
I'll give it a 6. You ready?
Just a
4,
minute.
6.
Wait,
Okay.
okay, I need your 6-digit number.
Okay, here you go. 462 758.
Nope, it's invalid.
It's probably because it's coming from Women's League. The,
Yeah, they
well,
have
this
some
is-
other
this-
number.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wait. This,
okay, well, I
no, this
put
is-
it in the chat.
All right, this is host key.
When you hit share, it's not letting you share. Did you try just hitting share? I mean, because I go on programs where I can share and I'm not the host.
Yeah, I go on stuff all the time and
Did you click
Try
share?
this number.
No, you
Carrie,
can't, because it says
have to be
only the
set up.
host. can
Oh,
figure
she disabled screen sharing. That's why.
yeah,
Carol,
Has
you
to be set up with
disabled
the
all
host.
screen sharing.
I don't know how we did
Really
that.
hard for me to, especially in
Carrie, you
these
want to
times
try this number, Sherry Stein?
with so many people
hold
and
on
to
a
not
second.
sing the mischievous
There's
with you.
another,
So
there's another number that I have.
I'm just gonna do it, and I'll sing it first for you and ask you not to sing along.
Okay, it's, go ahead.
Who's singing?
You just had it on. I just heard it.
I heard it too.
I had clicked it. I could play it on my computer so you could hear it.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean,
That would be okay.
that's fine.
Yeah,
I was
all right.
spending
Yeah,
so much time
I
on it.
sent it to you all, so.
And then I'll ask you to join with me and to hold in your minds and hearts the names of those people in your lives in need of healing. And for all of those across the seas, all of those we don't know, and all of those for whom there is no one to ask for blessings of healing and well-being. This is for you. מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say amen. This is still for you. Mi shebeirach imotenu מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema. The renewal of body the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach avotenu. Misheberach avotenu. Mekor habracha, mekor habracha, leimotenu, imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu. Misheberach imotenu. Mekor habracha, lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Beautiful, beautiful. She always is wonderful.
Many,
And
many
she's-
years, many years ago, she was a guest of Women's League at a convention. It was probably at the Concord in the Catskills. I attended that convention. It was wonderful when she was there. She was really
She was in
great.
Washington, DC.
Was it Washington?
Yeah. I
Oh,
was
okay.
president of my sisterhood then. And yes, that was a big thing.
How many years ago was that? Was it
I
many years
saw her
ago?
in Hofstra
Oh.
College.
Oh, my
She
goodness.
died a long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
She
did.
got pancreatic cancer and died.
Yeah, I think it's about 20 years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
I think one of the
I have
saddest
a
things I ever saw
Havdalah,
was
a group
her
of women, and
funeral
we have,
was online.
yeah, we have a Havdalah group every, well, Saturday night. And we always do Mishabach because there's always somebody in our community who needs a Mishabach. So we
Yeah.
do it as part of our Havdalah group.
Yeah.
We
all
sing
of
it on
those things are
Shabbat
beautiful.
morning, in Carol and my synagogue, we sing it now on Shabbat mornings.
Yes.
So do we in ours. Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, as we do, we.
I
We sing
saw
her
her in
version, her
Hofstra
version.
University when she was ill, and she came up to the podium on a skateboard.
Really?
I think that she must have had trouble walking, and her funeral, I think I cried so much. They had it online. They had people singing this, and it was one of the saddest, one of the most emotional funerals I've ever. I'm sitting in front of the computer, and I was drenched. The word makor, the source, referring to God as a source of blessing, makor habracha. So the song is not exactly the same as the tefillah, but let's try it, okay? So now we know what it's about. Thank you. That was really beautiful, Sherry. Thank you very much.
Hey, Edwin, I'm okay. How you doing?
Okay, so let's start with
Sure.
somebody, the first part that starts with the check mark, Mishabera.
Somebody
The
has
Russian
someone in the room
Federation.
who's on
Please
the phone.
mute. Please mute.
Thank you. So who wants to read the first three lines from Mishabera up to HaCholim? Somebody want to read that? Have a volunteer. This is pretty easy because it has all the names of the matriarchs and the patriarchs. Okay, Janice, go for it.
Mishaberach lacholim.
No, start with the where the check mark is. Mishaberach avotenu.
Mishaberach avotenu. Avraham Yitzchak. Yaakov. Ve'imo Atenu Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. Coup, Yivrech, Vera, Pay, it.
Okay, do the one with the circle.
Okay. HaCholim.
Okay, and instead of saying mother, son of or daughter of, we'll just say the Ukrainian people. I'd like someone else to try that, another volunteer, because it has all the names that you're familiar with. That was very nice, Tov mode. Somebody else want to do that? Okay, Beth.
Mishaberach, Avatenu, Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Ve'imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, who Yivarech, Virape et Haholim.
Beautiful. One more. Let's make it a troika. Somebody else. Okay, Diana.
Mishaberach, Avotenu, Ivracha, Yaakov, Abraham, sorry. I'm getting the sun and everything here in the way here. Okay. Abraham, Yitzhak, veYaakov, ve'imotenu, Sarah, veRivka, veRachel, veLeah, hu Yavarech, veRape et Chacholim.
Good. What's the difference, anybody? What's the difference between Avotenu and Imotenu?
Fathers and mothers.
Okay, so the matriarchs and the patriarchs. Okay, then it goes on and we would say, Ukraine, the nation of Ukraine. And the next check says, Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim. Okay, Sherry Fox, you want to read that line? With Hakadosh?
Just Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim.
Okay, so that goes for all, for the male, the female, and then the group. And then it says, so he will have compassion, have pity on Alehem, on them, Alehem, Lahachazikam, Ularapotam, V'yishlach Lahem. So remember, we're looking at roots from Chazek, and we'll make them strong, strengthen them. Lahachazikam has a masculine ending. Ularapotam, and to heal them from Rofei, and that is the root for heal. Alice, you want to read that? Where it says for a group?
I get them to assign it.
It's starting at Mehara.
Alehem.
Oh, Alehem, Lehahazikam, Urapotam, Veishlach Lahem. Mehara.
Wait, okay, good. Let me have somebody else do that. Alan, you want to try that? From Alehem, where it says for a group?
Yeah. Alehem lehachazikem.
Come.
Urafotam. V'yishlach lechem.
Lahem. Okay, so everything there is in the plural, right? Okay,
Carol?
so healing them and strengthening them. Yes.
Isn't the pay is a puh, not a fuh, right?
Well, over here it's ularapotam. It's a pay.
Right. Okay.
Ularapotam. It's a pay. Pay is a pay. Sometimes a pay, but not here. Here it's a.
We actually went over the whole rule with grammar this morning in the Hebrew class with Anne. When you use the dot, when you don't use the dot, and how it changes with a consonant and a vowel. That was like.
Yeah. Oh, that's a headache right there.
That was unbelievable.
Okay. All right. So then we have another 4 lines. Mehera, and you probably have heard when we do Bimhera V'Yameinu, when we Passover coming up, Bimhera, Maher means quickly. Bimhera means it's an adverb, Bimhera. So this is Mehera, quickly, fast. We want a quick healing. Mehera, Rifu'ah, healing, refuah shlema, complete healing, a quick, complete healing. Min hashamayim, what do you think that means? Min hashamayim.
From the heaven.
Okay, so what does that really mean?
From
Who
God.
is the instrument from God? We're asking God, we're addressing God in this, talking about God giving healing. So Mehera Rifu'ah Shlema Min Hashamayim Rifu'at Hanefesh. That tav on the end means it's possessive. Healing of the soul. Rifu'at Hanefesh. Or a fu, and here is a fe, or fu'at haguf, and healing of the body. Bitoch, with sha'ar hacholim, with the rest of those who are sick. I love that. It's not just for this person, it's for anyone who's sick. The chazek, and strengthen et yedei ha'oskim, the hands of the people who are the caretakers. B'tzorchechem, strengthen the hands of the caretakers who are involved in their problems. Tsurus, we know in Yiddish, right? Tsurus, sarot in Hebrew, tsurus, problems. Okay. Shabbat he milizok. So Sabbath is supposed to be not for crying out, or fu'ah krova lavo, and you want this to be quickly. And then, does anyone know what hashta bagalab? That's two words in Aramaic, which I don't know. Ubizman kariv, and at a close time, a near time, vinomar, and let's say maybe so. Amen. Okay, so why don't we have somebody do the first line, and we'll have everybody do a line of that. Sherry Rubin, will you like to do the first line that starts with the check? Mehera.
Mehera, Refuah, Shalema, Min Hashamayim, Refuah,
Refuat.
Refuat, Hanege,
Nefesh.
Hagefesh.
Nefesh.
Hanefesh.
Okay. Sherry Stein, want to take the second line?
Fuat
Or fuat.
or fuat.
Mhm.
Kago.
Goof.
Kago.
Goof,
Kagu.
the body. Good.
But
Rhoda speaking.
but
Betoch. Betoch. You got all the lovely final letters, didn't you? Betoch.
yeah. Shar. Lim.
Mhm.
The cook.
Hazek. Hazek.
Hazek. No.
Good.
At. Oat.
Yedei. Yedei.
Carol, can you
Okay.
just say again what betoch means?
Within.
Within, okay.
Mhm. Okay, that same line, because it's got some fun stuff in it. Let's see. Somebody who hasn't had a chance to talk, who hasn't had a chance to read. Let's get everybody involved here. Who has not had a chance to read? Who didn't read? Speak up, speak up. I can't see everybody. Helene. Take the
Okay.
second line. Or Fuat.
Oh, the second line. I thought we were down to the third. Orf.
Not yet.
Urfuat Haguf Betoch Sha'ar HaChalim V'chazek
Good.
Chazek at Yadei.
Yedei. Okay, Yedei. Beryl, can you take the third line? Ha'oskim.
Sure. Okay. Hazukim.
Ha'oskim.
Osking. Izu.
Now, you see that bigger, the bigger kamatz, that means it's an or. Bitsor.
Bitsor. Kahem.
Bitsor chehem. Bitsor chehem. Good.
Shabbat. Who?
He.
He.
Who is he and he is she and me is who?
Okay. Mil. Liz.
The third letter is a Zion. Miliz.
Mihiz.
Milizok.
Milizok. Or Fuat.
Or Fu'ah. Ha'oskim b'tzor chehem Shabbat he milizok or Fu'ah. One more person to try that line. Let's see what I got here. Okay, call out if you didn't have a chance to read. I want everyone to have a chance to read. Let me see. Edie.
Okay. Ha'uskim Bitsar.
Bitsor.
It's Bitsor Bitsor Chehem at Shabbat he mi lezaot or fuat.
Good. And let's go to the last line. Let me see. What do we have? How about bet? Start with krova.
Krova, lavo, hashtab, ba'agala, bizman, karim, bin nomar, amen.
Okay, very good. Okay. Now, is there one very brave person who can do that whole paragraph starting with Alehem? And if there is a brave person, let's see you now. Somebody want to do their due diligence here? All right. I'm not seeing an outpouring. So we try it. Shall we try it together slowly? It's just that when you do it together, you know, it gets a little fuzzy around the edges. Fuzzy wuzzy wasn't fuzzy. He sure was. All right, let's try it. I'll say a little bit. Say it after me. We'll say it slowly because it's really important that you get this. Okay. We'll start with Alehem, this last section here. Okay. Alehem.
Alehem.
Lahachazikam.
Lahachazikam.
Ularapotam.
Ularapotam.
V'yishlach lahem. Mehera. Rifu'ah. Shlema. Min hashamayim. Orfat hanefesh. Sounds like the fat soul. Orfuat. Haguf. Bitoch. Sha'ar hacholim. The chazek. Et yedei. Ha'oskim. Bitsor chehem. Shabbat. He. Milizok. Orfa, last
Orfa.
line. Krovalavo, Hashta, Ba'agala, Ubizman Kariv, Benomar Amen.
Amen.
There was a question. Somebody said, isn't it? Who started to ask the
Yeah,
question?
it was me.
Questions
I
are good.
think it was a word that I wasn't sure it sounded right to me.
I think it was.
Or poa.
Or
Maybe that was it.
Orfat,
How do you say that? It's the last word,
Oh, it's.
second line from the bottom, last
oh,
word.
that one is Orfu'a, Orfu'a, Orfu'a. Yeah, that's a fey. There's no dot, Orfu'a. Okay. So I want to get into the also, time's going. All right. So the other thing that I sent you was on the bottom, the Birkat Hagomel. And that one is after you recuperate. So the first one is asking for a refuah shlema, a speedy recovery. I have a friend who's having surgery on Tuesday. I am going to call her Monday and I am going to recite the blessing on the phone for refuah shlema. She's having some serious surgery. So I'm going to say that. But sometimes when I've done that to a friend, I have a very hard time doing it because I'm close to tears, because that's a very emotional blessing. So I have to kind of like keep it together, but I'll be strong. So Birkat, the blessing of Gomel. All right, and words on the bottom, Gomel.
What does Birkat mean?
Okay, like Birkat Hamazon, bracha is a blessing. Another form of that is Birkat means the blessing of. So when you say Birkat Hamazon, that's called smichut. It's possessive. The tav on the end. So it's a blessing for mazon, like the organization for food, Birkat. So this is Birkat Hagomel. This is the blessing of a reward or for a reward. And it says the bracha is recited by one who has recovered from a serious illness or survived a life-threatening illness. So I just want you to think for a moment, besides the people in Ukraine, which is totally heartbreaking. I was over at the Ukrainian church yesterday, schlepping clothing and medical supplies. And there's another shipment of stuff I gave to a friend, bringing it to Lindenhurst, to that Ukrainian church. And there were people lined up in the street, with their cars, schlepping bundles and things. They could barely, some of them older men could barely walk. They were like limping. I said, here, I'll help you with the bag. Bringing it downstairs to the basement of the church.
Office 365 is youre.
And
Windows.
somebody, please mute. And they were so appreciative. They thank you.
But how is it getting to the Ukrainian people?
That's what I'd like to know.
Well, like
what?
I was just in a meeting before this class, and our Jewish community is actually putting out a letter today, and we're collecting. On Sunday, we're having a pre-form party, and our Jewish community is actually, our JCCC is actually sending out stuff.
Well,
to where? I mean, how's
Jewish
it?
If you go online, I can actually, there's actually a slew of organizations that are taking stuff, and you can do it all online, and they will send your stuff with everybody else's.
I mean, I know you can donate.
You have to drop it off.
No, you don't have to drop it off.
Donate things.
There's online ways you can do this, so that there's people that are collecting.
What do you mean,
sending.
Sherry? They're going to pick it up from your house?
No, you do it online. You do it all online.
Yeah, but you're talking about
what do you mean? You buy something and it gets sent
it's
somewhere?
online that you're buying whatever, or giving them a donation, or whatever it is. They're in need of food. They're in need of medical supplies. They're in need of pads and
sleeping bags, medical kits, first aid kits, bandages, stuff like that. So I went to CVS and I bought a couple of bags of those supplies and brought it. And I saw today they're looking for some things they didn't have there. They had sleeping bags, flashlights, first aid kits. You know, the church in Riverhead was not taking any more clothing for men, for women and children, but they did want like sweats for men, sweatpants, sweat tops, fleece, sweaters. So I brought them because I had collected some stuff. So I brought them those things, and the rest of the things, stuff that I had bought on sale. I still have the tags on them. I sent to a church in Lindenhurst. Anyway, let's do this a short one here. Birkat HaGomel. So again, I looked this up as to when you say this. Does anyone know when you say the Birkat Gomel? This is kind of interesting.
When people come back from travel.
Okay, so if you, it says if you were lost in the desert, I guess we're thinking of Israel. If you're trekking in the desert and you're during the flight, if you were lost in the desert.
I laughed hysterically one of the first times I was in my synagogue when I moved up here from Miami, because somebody said they took a trip down to Miami. So if you've ever been down here, you know that just getting through the traffic from Miami up to Palm Beach is like going through the desert, and you need prayers when you've made it through.
All right, so
Carol,
very quickly.
can you say this when someone is getting ready to take a trip, like a vacation?
Usually
Like
it's when
going overseas.
And usually it's after, because here are the things that I found. When recovering from a serious illness, when completing a dangerous journey, you should say within 3 days, it says, of those times. When you were in prison, so you ladies, if you were in prison when you got out, you better go now. If you were lost in the desert, when you crossed the ocean, because we're thinking of a long time ago, probably when this was written, or when you flew over it, after childbirth, and after the Torah reading, and you have to have a minyan. Usually it's done after the seventh Aliyah. It's after that. Oh, by the way, one of the things we didn't mention was the mischievous could be naming a new baby or adopting a child. Adopting a child. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, so this is a Birkat Gomel. It goes like this. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hagomel lachayavim tovot shegamalani kol tov. Now, for male or for female, here's for the group. Mi shegamalchem kol tov, hu yigmalchem kol tov, Selah. And if you're going to ask me what the word Selah means, Selah, I found in one place, it said they don't know. And
It was
like just another syllable that was added, but another place said it means like le'olam, like forever. Okay, so
it was also
so let's
used
do it.
as a signal to the Levites when they're singing. You can you know, because they used to like go up and down the stairs, and Selah was something. But a lot of people are just saying Selah like I said something really meaningful, and I'm ending my statement, and so I'm going to say Selah. I've been seeing that in a lot of young stuff. Yeah, yes.
Okay, so let's do this. Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch Adonai.
Eloheinu melech haolam.
Eloheinu melech haolam.
Hagomel lachayavim.
Hagomel
Tovot. Which means you are rewarding, even though we are undeserving, you are rewarding us with tovot, comes from tov. It means goodness. We are thanking God for rewarding. We're not meriting this, but you're giving us goodness. I mean, we could, because we survived these perilous situations. Okay. Then it says, Hu yigmalcha. Kol tov. Selah. Now let's, for a female, it's slightly different. Look at the ends. Mi shegamalech. Kol tov. Hu yigmalech. Kol tov.
Koto.
Selah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see the endings, Shegamalech and Yigmalech, because that means you to a female will giving you blessing. Okay, now for a group, Mi Shegamalchem. Kol tov.
Koto.
Hu Yigmalchem. Kol tov. Selah. Okay, so you're speaking to a group. Instead of saying you to a male, you to a female, you're saying Shegamal Chem, which means speaking to you to a group. And we really do wish the Ukrainian people, somebody's got to do something with Putin. We need an overthrow. We need a coup there, not here. We need a coup because he's cuckoo. So we need something to happen. I mean, maybe his oligarchs will not like the fact that their yachts are being confiscated and their apartments and their vacation places and their
Somebody, one
girlfriends.
of the oligarchs in England yesterday committed suicide.
Really?
Yeah, in Surrey.
Is that the one who had the soccer team?
No, he's trying to sell his soccer team, by the way.
Yeah, Abramovich. Well,
I'm
when
having
I
some
went to
computer
rally-
problems. This is Helene. I can't see anybody. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I was just going to say, Putin is a Cossack, and he brought the Cossacks to the Olympics and had them do the security with their whips. And every time I see that, I think of my husband's family who came from Russia because of the Cossacks. And here he is trying to bring back that entire society and everything. And so I feel like I'm an old Mel Brooks person. You know, I say, oh, those damn Cossacks.
My grandparents came because of that too.
Yep, so did mine. He came in 1904. He came also. He served in the Russian army. I guess he was conscripted, and he cursed the Russians, the Cossacks, all the time. So look, we're almost out of time. For next week, it's the week before Purim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do selections from the Megillah. There's 10 chapters, and I'm going to take some important phrases and take you through the story by some of these phrases, if that's okay with you. I once had my Hebrew school kids make a little mini Megillah, and I had them in groups, and each group had to do one frame. They had to take, let's say, chapter 1, and they had to draw a picture, and they had to take what they considered 1 or 2 important lines from that chapter. Then we put them all together, and then we rolled it up, and we had a really nice, our own class Megillah. So we'll study some of the important lines. I was thinking, once there was a wicked, wicked man, and Putin was his name. He would have murdered all the Ukrainians, though they were not to blame. So, and
he basically started a nuclear war by blasting that nuclear reactor.
He's out of control. He's totally sugar. He's totally out of control.
Drop a bomb on them somewhere.
Well, a more positive spin is the local Jewish Week here in Washington had a little article about him being the modern Maccabee. Not Putin. Yes.
Zelensky.
Thank you. Yes,
Zelensky.
I left that little thing out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zelensky as the modern day Maccabee.
Well, he started out as a comedian and doing voiceovers, and now he's a national hero. And I heard this morning he said there were 3 attempts on his life for assassination. I pray that he stays alive and he socks it to Putin. That's what I'm praying for, that he just avoids them and he can hide and just.
I hope there's something going on in the background we don't know about that will assassinate Putin.
Well, you know what they say, from your mouth to God's ears. And I'm angry that Putin has made us there's a Yetzer Hara and a Yetzer Tov. There's a good inclination and a bad inclination. It's like the good angel and the bad devil in everybody. And I am angry at Putin for even making us think like that, for putting those wicked, nasty thoughts in our heads, but you can't help it. I went to a rally on Sunday in Glen Cove, where there's a Holocaust memorial garden, and it was right outside the Russian compound where their ambassadors like to go, for vacation. And there's a pool. It's a huge compound in a big white building. And there were about 400 people there. And we recorded some of it. And people were with their children with their flowers in their hair and their signs. And everyone had big Ukrainian flags. They're light blue and yellow. And some posters had sunflowers on them. So I went up to one person and I said, what's the significance of the sunflowers, Labriut? And they said, that's the national flower of Ukraine. And then before we left, we started to leave, and I said, we have to stand and wait, because it was singing a national anthem. And it is, that is very heartbreaking.
Now, do you know about
Mrs.
the sunflower
Biden
lady?
wore a sunflower on her dress.
Yes.
The other night, and she has a mask that's light blue with a sunflower on it too.
Yeah, but you've heard about the sunflower lady? She was an older woman who was actually giving sunflower seeds to the soldiers. And she said, put these in your pocket, so when you die, the flowers will grow. And she said, get the F out of my country. But she is literally handing these soldiers sunflowers. Oh my goodness, she is my hero. And
that's amazing.
The best.
Alice,
I
heard
mean
that too.
Chapter 3 for the Megillah, should you care.
Oh, really? Chapter 3. Okay, we'll keep it in mind. All right, so that's what we'll do. So I will send you the verses that I want to go over. But if you have a book that has the Megillot, then you'll be able to, Ruth and Esther and Purim. But if not, I'll send it to you. I'll clip out what I want to go over.
Is it in Etz
so we can get a feeling up for it. What's that, Carol?
Is it in the Etz Chaim?
No.
Is it in the Etz Chaim?
It's a different book. It's a separate book.
No,
with
it's a
all
little
the-
booklet. Some of them are purple with yellow. Some of them are in a book. That's just some of them are in a book that's brown on the outside. But I will clip out and send you what some key lines from each chapter.
Thank you.
And we have, and Sherry knows this, Sherry Fox knows this, we have a wonderful Torah reader, and she does Megillah, she does all of the books.
She teaches Hebrew also.
She holds her breath. When you say all the names of the 10 sons of Haman, and they're like big, long Persian names, and she holds her breath, and then she says them all in one breath. That's the custom, and it's amazing. It's good. So have a good Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.